Welcome to our video about the major historical events happened in 1900 AD. As the 19th century concluded, the world stood at the precipice of a radical new era. Witness the events of 1900 AD that shaped the modern world. January 1st marked the birth of colonial Nigeria. The British government took direct control of the Royal Niger Company's territories, establishing the northern and southern Nigeria protectorates. This shift from mercantile rule laid the administrative foundations for the modern nation of Nigeria. On January 2nd, the U.S. announced the open door policy to safeguard American trade interests in China. Proposed by Secretary of State John Hay, the policy advocated for equal access to Chinese ports, becoming a cornerstone of American foreign policy in East Asia for decades. January 6th saw the Battle of Platrand during the Second Boer War. Boer forces launched a major assault on British positions at Wagon Hill. This desperate struggle lasted for hours, highlighting the resilience of the Boer commandos despite the British holding their ground. Puccini's opera Tosca premiered in Rome on January 14th. Despite a tense atmosphere, the opera was an immediate sensation. Its themes of political intrigue, lust, and betrayal cemented Puccini's status as a leading composer of the Verismo style. The Battle of Spion Kop on January 24th was one of the Boer War's most brutal encounters. British troops were exposed to accurate Boer fire from higher ground while trapped in shallow trenches, resulting in a tactical disaster and a symbol of military incompetence. February 5th marked the signing of the Hay-Pauncefote Treaty. This US-UK accord cleared the way for the US to build a trans-Isthmian canal under its sole control, a strategic necessity for connecting its Atlantic and Pacific fleets and ensuring global trade access. On February 8th, the final push to relieve the siege of Ladysmith began. Led by General Sir Redvers Buller, this offensive followed 118 days of suffering from disease and starvation. It marked the beginning of a decisive shift toward British victory in the South African conflict. February 16th highlighted the exploration of the Great Ice Barrier. Led by Karsten Borchgrevink, the Southern Cross expedition reached a new farthest south record. They were the first to land and overwinter on the Antarctic mainland, paving the way for future heroic age explorers. The UK Labour Party was born on February 27th. The Labour Representation Committee was founded in London to ensure working-class interests were represented in Parliament. Key founders included Keir Hardie and Ramsay MacDonald, who would later become the first Labour Prime Minister. February 28th brought a moment of imperial joy as Ladysmith was relieved. After 4 months of isolation, British forces broke the Boer lines. The news triggered wild celebrations and boosted morale after earlier defeats. On March 5th, U.S. cruisers were dispatched to Central America. This gunboat diplomacy protected American trade interests during a border dispute between Nicaragua and Costa Rica, underscoring the U.S.'s increasing regional power and ensuring future canal plans remained secure. March 6th marked the Red Ash Mine tragedy. A catastrophic coal mine explosion in West Virginia claimed 50 miners' lives, highlighting the extreme dangers for industrial workers. The event prompted calls for safety regulations, though change was slow. On March 14th, genetics was rediscovered. Botanist Hugo de Vries published results echoing Gregor Mendel's long-forgotten work on heredity. This launch of modern genetics revolutionized the understanding of how traits are passed between generations. The excavation of Knossos began on March 16th. British archaeologist Sir Arthur Evans started uncovering the ruins of the palace on Crete. Evans discovered the sophisticated Minoan civilization, profoundly changing the understanding of European history and the origins of Greek culture. March 24th saw the groundbreaking of the New York City subway system at City Hall by Mayor Robert Anderson Van Wyck. This massive engineering project was designed to alleviate congestion, and it would grow into one of the world's most extensive urban transportation networks. On April 1st, the Michelin brothers published the first Michelin guide in France. Initially a free motorist handbook with maps and tire instructions, it was a clever tactic to boost tire sales, unknowingly launching a global culinary authority. The Exposition Universelle, the 1900 World's Fair, opened in Paris on April 14th. It showcased the past century's achievements and the next century's promises. Over 50 million visitors experienced marvels like the moving sidewalk and the Palace of Electricity. April 22nd marked the Battle of Kusuri. French forces defeated and killed warlord Rabih az-Zubar, securing French control over the territory of Chad. This was a critical milestone in the, quote, scramble for Africa and the expansion of the French colonial empire. April 30th is remembered for the sacrifice of locomotive engineer Casey Jones. He died in a train crash in Mississippi while slowing his train, saving all passengers aboard. His heroism became immortalized in a popular ballad. The Schofield mine disaster occurred on May 1st, when a blasting powder explosion in Utah killed 200 miners instantly. It was the deadliest mining accident in U.S. history at the time, sparking a national debate on the need for stricter safety enforcement. The 1900 Paris Olympics began on May 14th, held as part of the World Exhibition. The disorganized 5-month-long event was notable as the first Olympics to allow female athletes to compete, alongside experimental events like motor racing. May 17th brought the relief of Mafeking in the Second Boer War. Colonel Robert Baden-Powell's 217-day defense of the town made him a national hero in Britain. The news of the relief sparked exuberant celebrations, later inspiring the foundation of the Scouting movement. On May 23rd, Sergeant William Harvey Carney became the first Black American to receive the Medal of Honor. The award was for his bravery during the Civil War in 1863, highlighting the ongoing struggle for recognition and civil rights for African American veterans. May 31st marked a major British victory in the Boer War with the capture of Johannesburg. The occupation of the gold-rich city was a devastating blow to the Boer cause, forcing their leaders to retreat to the capital, Pretoria. On June 5th, the British entered Pretoria, the capital of the Transvaal. While this formally ended the organized state resistance of the Boers, it led directly to a brutal and effective guerrilla insurgency, prolonging the conflict for 2 more years. The Battle of Taku Forts occurred on June 17th. Forces of the Eight-Nation Alliance attacked and captured the forts guarding Tianxi in response to the Boxer threat. The attack pushed the Chinese imperial government to formally side with the Boxers. June 20th marked the beginning of the 55-day siege of the legations in Peking. Boxer rebels and Chinese troops trapped foreign diplomats and Chinese Christians. The dramatic siege became a global media sensation, leading to an international military response. On July 2nd, Count Ferdinand von Zeppelin launched his first rigid airship, the LZ-1. The 18-minute flight demonstrated the potential for long-distance aerial travel, ushering in the Zeppelin era that dominated the skies until the late 1930s. The Commonwealth of Australia Constitution Act was signed by Queen Victoria on July 9th. This act united 6 separate colonies into a single nation under a federal system of government, officially taking effect on January 1, 1901. July 14th saw the intense Battle of Tianjin. Forces of the Eight-Nation Alliance captured the city after heavy urban combat, securing a crucial base for the relief expedition toward the besieged legations in Peking. The victory, however, was marred by widespread looting. On July 29th, an Italian anarchist assassinated King Umberto I of Italy in Monza. Gaetano Bresci claimed to be avenging the Bava Beccaris massacre. The regicide shocked Europe and resulted in a sharp crackdown on anarchist movements continent-wide. August 14th brought the liberation of Peking. The Eight-Nation Alliance Relief Force fought their way into the city, ending the 55-day siege of the legations. The imperial court fled, and foreign troops occupied the Forbidden City, leading to harsh retributive conditions. On August 25th, influential philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche died in Weimar after years of mental decline. His radical ideas on morality, religion, and culture, epitomized by his quote about the death of God, would profoundly shape 20th century intellectual thought. September 8th marked the deadliest natural disaster in U.S. history, the Great Galveston Hurricane. The Category 4 storm and its massive surge submerged the Texas island, claiming an estimated 8,000 lives. The city later built a seawall for protection. The Battle of Pulang Lupa took place on September 13th during the Philippine-American War. Filipino resistance fighters under Maximo Abad successfully defeated an American detachment on Marinduque Island. It demonstrated the enduring depth of the resistance. October 25th saw the formal annexation of the South African Republic by the British government. Despite this decree, the Boer commandos continued a bitter guerrilla war for another 20 months, highlighting Britain's determination to control the region's mineral wealth. On November 6th, U.S. President William McKinley was re-elected, defeating William Jennings Bryan. The election affirmed American prosperity and its new imperial role. Vice President Theodore Roosevelt was set to play a larger role in national politics. November 22nd marked the debut of the Mercedes automobile in Germany. Built by Daimler Motorengesellschaft, This lighter, sleeker model was named after Emil Jelinek's daughter. It redefined automotive design and set the stage for the modern luxury car. Oscar Wilde, the brilliant wit and playwright, died in exile and poverty in Paris on November 30th. His poignant final quote reflected his tragic legal fall from being the toast of London society, ending a controversial life. On December 5th, the British declared the end of the War of the Golden Stool in the Gold Coast. The conflict began when a British governor demanded the sacred Ashanti symbol. Though led bravely by Yaa Asantewaa, the Ashanti Empire's independence was lost. December 14th is known as the birth of quantum physics. Max Planck presented his groundbreaking paper, introducing the idea that energy is emitted in discrete quanta. This foundational concept shattered classical physics and launched a scientific revolution. The Prix Guzman was announced on December 17th, offering a large prize for communicating with a celestial body, though Mars was excluded as too easy. This reflected the immense optimism and public fascination with space and extraterrestrial life at the turn of the century. On December 23rd, Reginald Fessenden achieved the first wireless transmission of the human voice. This breakthrough pioneered amplitude modulation, or AM, laying the essential technological groundwork for the future of radio broadcasting. The 8-Nation Alliance presented the 12 conditions for the Boxer Protocol on Christmas Eve. These demands, including massive financial indemnity and the punishment of Chinese officials, would be signed in 1901, marking a further decline of Qing power.